Welcome to the Millbrook Railroad. And today we have the Millbrook 101 in the shop here. And I think it's time to do some work to it. We've got, I think, one stirrup here that's not bent. The rest of them are pretty badly bent.
No,
this one's bent here, this grab iron.
This one's not too bad.
Oh, that one's not bent too bad. The stirrup is okay. No, it's bent.
Take a pair of pliers and stretch it out and it'll be fine. This stirrup is bent and these ones are completely crushed.
Yeah, so we've got a... This one's bent up pretty good. So yeah, we've got some work to do to it. We've got to straighten out some things. It needs a paint job. Desperately needs a paint job. So we're going to have to take off all of the stake pockets. And let's see what else. I need to put some wood filler in here, in this little hole. So
Pockets, couplers.
I'm going to get to it right now. All right, I'm going to fill in the cracks here in these holes using this wood filler here, Plastic Wood X. Maybe I shouldn't try to do it without removing those. They're in the way. I should have done this before I put that goop in there. Let's just dull the thing, shall we? Managed to blunt it. While that wood filler dries, Eric's going to work on pulling off all the stake pockets and the grab irons.
That right there is a bucket of all the stake pockets and screw. Well, it was, but that's all the stake pockets and screws that this car had. Well, except for these two. But so all Aaron needs to do now is sand down the sides, sand down the ends, and repaint it and re-shellac the deck.
All right, I've got all these bent pieces. Various states of disrepair, all from getting banged around. You know, these cars get used a lot, so they go through a lot of abuse. So I'm going to straighten out anything that's twisted, like this one here is twisted. And make it all straight again. Time for sandblasting these parts. Grab irons done. So I have to strip this car down, get all the paint off it. And makes me wonder, how would you strip a car like this? Would you use chemicals? Would you just sand it down? Or would you use this? What is this, you ask? Well, this is a cabinet scraper. This is used for smoothing out wood when you're making cabinets. And I have a set of these, along with a burnishing tool to roll the edge to make it sharp enough to scrape this smooth. And I've taken the liberty of scraping this smooth, getting all the paint off of this part here, just to show you kind of what it looks like. So I'm going to do that with the rest of this car because it turned out so well. So here we go. Well, that went very quickly, and it's a lot less mess than sanding. Scrapes off the paint. Obviously, there's more to go, but it's smoothed the surface quite a lot right there. And I can smooth out this gouge, and I can take out all this other stuff. And I've got this pile of paint and wood at the end. I just vacuum that up. And here's what the scraper looks like after scraping that little bit. So I'm going to drop some more tools on the floor, and I'll scrape the rest of this off camera, and I'll show you the result when I'm done. Well, I've scraped it, I've sanded it, I washed it down with alcohol, and now I've shellacked that side. So next comes paint for this piece. Or maybe, I think what I'll do is I'll finish scraping the rest of the car down instead, and then I'll paint it all at once.
Applying that stencil has to be one of the most stressful things of this whole job. But thankfully we're beyond that, and now we're up to the point where we can start applying paint on top of the stencil. And instead of spraying it on, I'm going to brush it on this time, because I've got plenty of this stuff. And stenciling the letters on with paint like this is as simple as stippling on the first coat, and then you brush on the second coat. And hopefully not too long after the first coat, but not too soon either. It's kind of hard to gauge. Trial by error. This particular paint, this particular color, I've got to wait about an hour, and then I pull the stencil off the car. And then you get some nice, crisp letters, assuming you didn't do it too soon or too late. Now this is a part that can go very, very wrong very quickly. Excuse my hand while I pull off the stencil on the inside of the B and the inside of the 0. And hey, it didn't go wrong this time. Now, if the reporting marks on the end of the car is the hardest part, this is the second hardest part. But by a long shot, second hardest. It's actually the second easiest. Pull the corner up, and then slowly peel away the stencil. And hopefully, you didn't wait too long. And in this case, I didn't. Waited just the right amount of time. If I had waited any longer, the letters would have come off with the stencil, and that would have been pretty bad. We had to touch things up. So the hardest part of any stenciling job is pulling off the stencil on the inside of the lettering. And we're dealing with wet paint here, so I can't touch the car while I'm doing this. Otherwise I'm going to mess the paint up. I can't really touch the lettering. I have to slowly pull that piece of stencil off, just like that. Hopefully it all comes off nicely. The B on this font is especially troublesome. But in this case, it just came off nicely. You'll have to excuse the paint that flowed into the crack on the car. I didn't notice the crack before. So now it's on to the main lettering on the side of the car. And like before, just peel up a corner and start pulling it off very, very carefully. Again, this is wet paint, so you have to make sure you don't double up anything. You don't touch the car with it once you pull it off. Just pull it straight off. There we go, just like that. And then the hard part, pulling off the stencil from the inside of the letters without touching the car. It's kind of a challenge. So you just watched me stencil this car, and you might be wondering, why didn't he just use vinyl and have stickers? It kind of looks the same anyway. For a lot less work. Well, the paint sticks better, and it's more permanent. And if I spray a clear coat over this, it's even more permanent than that. I mean, you could do the same thing with vinyl, but I just like the look of paint. And I like the way it wears when it does wear. The paint wears thinner, and instead of peeling off and being able to stick it back on, it just sort of fades in a more historically accurate way, I guess you could say. I just like it. It's a different technique, and it seems to me it's a dying art. So why not use vinyl to make stencils? I mean, it seems like a good way to do it, right? I mean, it came out pretty good for the most part. It's not perfect. But you know, those little imperfections, maybe that's okay. Maybe everything doesn't have to be perfect. Some things can just be good enough. And that's all we're going to get out of a car like this that's been riding the rails for so long and neglected for so long.
kind of feel bad that I neglected it for so long, but well, it was high time I did something about it, so I think I got to it before I got any real structural rot problems on it, so that's a win. And the bare screw heads, I think I'm just going to leave them like that. They're nice for accents, I guess. And I guess this way I'll be able to tell when a screw falls out. I don't know, they'll probably be rusty by then and they'll blend in with everything else. It's good enough. There we go. It looks good, but it's not perfect. It was never going to be perfect. But, you know, maybe if you're putting off a project because it's not perfect and maybe you don't have everything you need to finish the project, well, maybe just starting it and getting as far as you can go and then adapting when you hit a snag. And maybe that's part of the hobby. Almost forgot to put the safety chains on. Oh, there you go. There's the 101. Now matching the 103. I think we'll do the same thing to the 102 when I finally get around to rebuilding it. That's going to be a much bigger project. So thanks for watching today's video. If you did like it, hit the thumbs up button. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you feel like it's worth it. Never mind that slamming door there. It's just the wind.
Hi, I'm here too.
Oh, Eric's here too. But anyway, yeah, patreon.com/Millbrook Railroad if you want to get early access to videos and some exclusive content. And we have a kit building service. If you want us to build a kit for you, like these cars here, they're actually kits you can buy from Plum Cove Studios. More on that in another video. But anyway, if you have a kit that you want us to build, we can do that for you. MillbrookRailroad.com. Maybe we'll even put it in a video. Just let us know if that's what you want. MillbrookRailroad.com. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.